So, shalom, shalom. So, first things first, I want to give all praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, and also I want to give double honors to the elders at SOT. So, yeah, Israel, tonight I got a quick lesson for you guys. What you're going to need for this lesson, you should have your King James Bible, you should have your Apocrypha, and if you do have it, you should have your concordance for your Apocrypha, and you should also have your concordance, your short concordance for your King James Bible. If you don't have them, I strongly suggest you guys pick them up. They're excellent learning tools. So yeah, Israel. Tonight's lesson is basically on. I want to touch on Christmas and Thanksgiving. Last week I did a video touching on these holidays. And last week I kind of gave you some understanding of why we shouldn't celebrate these holidays. And tonight I kind of want to touch a little bit more on the history side. Just give you guys a little bit more understanding of what these holidays are all about and why the heathen celebrated and all that. Yeah, so yeah, let's get into this lesson. So let's start off like this. Let's start off with Thanksgiving. So first thing we need to understand that the Most High never gave us Thanksgiving to celebrate. It's not of the Most High. The Most High have nothing to do with Thanksgiving. And another thing we need to understand is the Most High is not going to deal with you if you're going to be celebrating days like this. The Most High gave us plenty of high holy days, feast days, Sabbaths, new moons to celebrate and to be with our family, you know, because it's really irrelevant for when people say, "Oh, it's you know what I mean. It's a time to be with the family. It's just a time to be with the family and everything." And it's like they try to brush it off as it's harmless when that's not the case at all. You know what I mean? And it's actually it's far from harmless. You know, it's offensive to celebrate. It's very offensive if you're an Israelite and you're celebrating Thanksgiving. That is extremely offensive, and who it's offensive to is our so-called Native American brothers and sisters, you know? Because what we need to understand is Thanksgiving is nothing more than a memorial of when they slaughtered our Native American brothers, and pure massacred them, you know? And that's nothing more than that. You celebrating the time that they hold a feast day that they hold for the day that they slaughter our Native American brothers, and you think that's harmless? You know what I mean? That's very offensive, you know. And let's get a little idea on how the Most High feels about that. And let's get the book of Amos chapter 5 and verse. This is Amos chapter 5 and verse 21, and it reads, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. So the reason why I pulled that scripture is I kind of want to show you how like the Most High feels. The Most High hates days like this. He hates Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? And not so much of what it represents, more on the side of seeing His people celebrating days like this. Because we got no business celebrating Thanksgiving. Like, what? You celebrating Thanksgiving and you an Israelite? Like, that's offensive to your Native American brothers. You know what I mean? Like, we gotta start being more aware of what we're doing and things that we're celebrating. We can't keep just turning a blind eye to things like this. You know. And yeah. So also, what we gotta understand is when we celebrate days like this, if you like, is you're going off into idolatry and fornication. So, and I'm gonna show you how. Because look, what did the Most High say? That's one of the main things he that's one of the things that our brothers and sisters mainly used to fall off in history, time and time again, is that idolatry. And this is a form of idolatry when we celebrate days like this, you know? Because it has nothing to do with us. And what did the Most High say? This is Exodus chapter 20, and let's read Yeah, let's read. Let's start at verse 4. Thou shalt not make thee any graven image, nor any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or in the or that it is in earth beneath, or that is in the waters underneath the earth. Verse 5. Thou shalt not bow thyself to them, nor serve them, for I am the Lord thy God, and I'm thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of their fathers upon the children of the third and fourth generation of them that hate him. So when you're celebrating things like this, you're going off into idolatry. Simple as that, you know. And and that's, like I said, that's one of the main things it was a stumbling block for our people. And we gotta be aware of these things, you know. The Most High hates days like this, and like I said, mainly because our people are going right along with the heathen, celebrating days like this, and it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? They slaughter our brothers and sisters, and not in a way that a fair way. You know what I mean? And I kind of want to get into that too. Let's get the book. Let's get the book of Genesis. I just want to show you guys that the Most High prophesied about this long before it happened. You know, he gave us heads up basically on what was going to happen. And this is Genesis chapter 49 and verse 19, and it reads, Gad, which is the so-called Native American, is the so-called Native American today, and it reads, Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. So the Most High has given us, he gave us warning about this. You know what I mean? How our Gadite brothers is going to be overcome. You know, and but what does it say? But he shall overcome at the last. So that's the day. That's a prophecy that we waiting on. We waiting for our brothers to get their payback. You know, and that's going to be a beautiful day to see that. You know what I mean? But let's get a understanding on just how did they slaughter our brothers and sisters and overcome our brothers and sisters. You know, because let's get into it. Let's get it first. Keep going on that. Let's get the book of Psalms, chapter 55 and verse 21, and it reads, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So that's how they overcame our Gaydar brothers, so-called Native American brothers. They used deceit because they wasn't going to be able to go toes with Gad. No, the Most High blessed them with the art of war. They were skilled in war. So that's something but that's nothing new. You know what I mean? That's just how Edom operates. You know, that's how the white man operates. They come and act like they're your friend. Whole time they got deceit in their heart. Like what it's saying, his words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. So their whole intent was to go to war with him, you know. But they came in acting like they were their friends, you know what I mean. And they gave them smallpox on the blankets. Our Gaydar brothers, that smallpox, you know what I mean, with the blankets, and that's just how they did it, you know what I mean. They had to use that deceit because, like I said, they're not going toes with Gad in war. That's not gonna happen, and they would have never stood toes with Gad. But yeah, so yeah, that's kind of a little history, basically showing you what Thanksgiving is. It's not nothing. It has nothing to do with the Most High. Like I said, you know what I mean. It's a very wicked holiday to celebrate, or wicked feast day to celebrate. So we need to stop celebrating Thanksgiving. I know you want to go to mom's house because she you know she gonna throw down and everything, but just restrain yourself from going and celebrating these days. You know what I mean? I mean, like, it's, you can, like, for instance, like you don't you ain't gotta be over righteous to where say your family cooks, your mother's cooks, whatever, your parents cook, whatever, and you just, oh, I'm not gonna eat. Like, you don't have to, you know what I mean, sit at a table with the family, you know what I mean, and hold that feast day. You know what I mean? If you like, say you like the food that your mother cooks, you can wait till the next day, you know what I mean, and make yourself a plate. But you know what I mean, you don't have to basically just hold these feast days. But like, you don't have to be over righteous at the same time. Basically, what I'm trying to get at and kind of touch on, you know. But yeah, that's kind of a little rundown on Thanksgiving. And let's kind of touch on Christmas now. You know, I kind of gave you guys the little basic little history on Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? If you want to know a little bit more, it's not hard to find or research. Just go on Google and search it. You know what I mean? You just, all you gotta do is look for it. You know, and the information is there for you. But now, so Christmas. So where does Christmas come from? And like, why do the people, these heathens, celebrate it and stuff? Because one thing we gotta get this out of our head is it's not Christ's birthday. Get that out of your head. It's never was Christ's birthday, and yeah, it's not Christmas. It's just another pagan holiday. That's all it is. It's another pagan holiday. So Christmas actually evolved from the the festival, the Saturnalia. It's basically a Roman festival, Saturnalia. That's what it evolved from. Was the day of Saturnalia? Well, actually, it was. I think it was like it actually lasted for a few days. But yeah, that's what Christmas evolved from, you know. And it was nothing more than a whole bunch of folly and wickedness. I'm talking about. It was when men would get together, Edomite men, you know what I mean, so-called white men, the Romans, they would actually get together, you know, buy each other presents, and do all types of folly, like pop each other. All that was going down. You know what I mean? And you got to think about it. You don't want to celebrate a day like that. You know, that has that. I know I don't. When I found out these things like this, like, it blew my mind because I never knew that. You know what I mean? I honestly thought it was Christ's birthday too when I was in the world. You know, I believed that it was Christ's birthday. You know, but if you just simply do the research and look it up, like Christmas, you'll really get the understanding. You know what I mean? You gotta look for the information. You know what I mean? And stop taking people's word for it. You know? And let me bring a scripture out on that. You know? Because and I brought this scripture out last week, but I just feel like it's necessary to kind of bring that again. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't hurt to hear these scriptures again. You know what I mean? It ain't gonna do nothing but benefit you. So let's get that. And this is gonna be the last scripture I pull. You know, I just want to make a quick video, kind of giving a little history, because, like I said, I did the lesson on this last week, and I kind of just wanted to touch a little bit more on it. You know, I had a little bit more just to add on. So let's get the book of. And another thing I want to say, is this Christmas is also another day of going into idolatry, because they actually used to hold the day Saturnalia, or the festival. I ain't gonna say a day because they did it for a few. Saturnalia was I think it was like 2 or 3 days long, so something like that. It was like a week long or something along those lines. But they held it in honor of the god Saturn. So you know what I mean. So when you're celebrating Christmas, you're going into idolatry. You know what I mean? Simple as that. And that's a commandment that the Most High told us not to do. You know, one of the main things that our brothers and sisters, like I said, tend to always used to fall into through history. But let's get that scripture. let's get Jeremiah and let's read verse 2 and through verse 4. And it reads, thus saith Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen. So that's not just Christmas, that's not Thanksgiving. He said, learn not the way of the heathen. That's any custom of these heathens. We need to restrain ourselves from following. Whatever it is, Valentine's Day, your birthday. That's another form of idolatry because you're putting yourself on a pedestal when all praises go to the Most High. Just all these customs that they hold. We should have nothing to do with it, and we need to turn back to the Most High and serve the Most High and hold His feast days, hold his festivals and all that. He gave us plenty of feast days. Like I said, high holy days to celebrate, and so it's like I said, it's no reason. And another thing I want to touch on is now more than ever, it's a great time to. Well, Slacky, I don't want to word it like that. What I'm basically trying to say is like now, so many more of our brothers and sisters woke up holding high holy days of the Most High and everything. So it's brothers and sisters that we can gather with. You know what I mean? So you're not gonna be holding these high holy days and feast days alone. You got plenty of brothers and sisters out there that's hold these high holy days and feast days. But let me keep reading. I'm gonna start from the top again. Verse 2. Thus saith Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen. Like I said, any way of the heathen. And be not dismayed in the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Verse 3. For the customs of the people are vain, for they cutteth this is key, listen. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of hands of the workmen with an axe. Verse 4. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it may not move. So what does that sound like? That's Christmas in a nutshell. They, you know what I mean. You go get the tree. That song deck the halls and all that wickedness. That the Most High prophesied of this. You know what I mean. So we gotta stop celebrating these wicked customs, these wicked holidays. We need to have nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? Do the best to serve the Most High and lead our children into the right path, serving the Most High, and just we need to wake up, Israel. Let's keep doing this. Let's keep doing the Most High's work. Let's keep trying to wake up, brothers and sisters. And with that, I want to say shalom, and I thank you guys for watching my videos. And yeah, so shalom. I hope you all have a good night. That was my lesson. Basically, want to touch a little bit more on the holidays of these this wicked society. And yeah, Israel, I thank you. Shalom, and have a good night. Shalom.